What up, everybody? We're back. Boomer Backfield. Little Ole Miss OU reaction, post-game reaction. It's Monday, so we're a little late, but we had a long Saturday night drive. Yeah, it was rough, and we came back with another loss. Raise your hand if you're shocked. Anyway, I'm Kylan Lacaze.
I'm Colby Routh.
I'm Spencer May.
And we're going to bring you guys a little post-game breakdown.
Well, can we talk about the drive back home? So me and Kylan are big Yankees fans.
Let's just talk about the whole 20.
Did we talk about?
Did we?
I don't know if we should talk about it on the pod, honestly, bro.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know.
We'll just talk about the games, our teams.
That would be like a personal pod type of
fair.
thing. Okay, yeah. Now my mind's on that, so now I'm cooking. Well, I just want to talk about the 24-hour segment of being a Yankee fan and being an OU fan. So Friday night, me and Kylan drove down to Memphis. We watched the Yankees lose. We wake up at 7.
Walk-off grand slam.
Yeah, walk-off.
They didn't just lose.
Grand slam by Freddie Freeman, which is ridiculous. We watch OU lose, and then we watch the Yankees lose, and that all happened within a 24-hour span. So we got to watch 3 losses of our favorite teams within 24 hours, which was just...
It was great.
And then 16 hours of driving on top of that. So it was just awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
Thursday night, about 11 p.m., our bus departed Lloyd Noble Center.
God.
Probably fell asleep around midnight. Probably woke up 10-plus times, like through the night.
10-plus.
Because you just wake up. Every time the bus hits a bump, you wake up.
Yeah.
Or like you stop a little bit or something like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
We stopped in like Little Rock, and I got these like this trail mix from Love's. It was the Love's brand trail mix. Fire. Fire. Absolutely fire. Highly recommend the yogurt trail mix at Love's.
Oh, that's gas. Yogurt trail. That's gas.
And then got Chick-fil-A breakfast, went to the stadium, set up till probably 1, got back, took a nap, got some food, went to bed, woke up, left the hotel at 5:10 a.m. I don't know why it was specifically 5:10.
Jeez.
Got to the stadium, set up, was there for a few hours. Then the game happened. It was hot. And then...
It was a hot one.
Yeah.
Broke down everything, packed up the truck, got in the bus, got back at 1 a.m., went back to the stadium, unloaded the truck, and left at 2:30. It was a 21-and-a-half-hour clocked-in day, Saturday.
That's racks.
No, it was not, because it's minimum wage.
Okay.
So,
$100.
Yeah, $160 probably.
Jeez.
So, yeah, just crazy weekend. We survived, though. We did make it out.
That's fair. Literally.
And it was really fun.
We
honestly.
survived.
It sucked, but it's a good memory. It was a good memory.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny because we were talking about on the pod before and just in general how much we were dreading to go to Ole Miss. And I actually had fun. So I enjoyed myself there. It was a good time.
It was fun.
Wasn't bad.
Stadium was cool. Small, honestly. Stadium was like...
Small and
honestly,
old.
Small, old. I would say the atmosphere, just in general, was kind of weak. I mean, granted, we lost, so we can't say much. But, like, it was not very intimidating of an atmosphere at Ole Miss. Like, I would argue OSU and Auburn were far harder environments. And even OU Texas.
Oh, yeah, easy.
Was much harder than Ole Miss. It wasn't
Cincinnati,
really that bad at all.
BYU, I can name a lot.
Yeah.
Cincinnati and BYU were less hard. Oklahoma State was probably double, in my opinion.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I mean, Oklahoma State was crazy that last year.
that was insane.
Yeah, Baylor's harder. Reminds me a lot of Baylor, their stadium. But yeah, not the most insane environment I've ever seen in my life.
Ole Miss fans are also, y'all are trash.
Yeah.
I literally was sitting
bad.
there. I don't know I guess you weren't there, Spence. So Colby goes down. I think he went to like get a beer or something.
Yeah.
And like they put us at like the very top. And so like there's like standing room above us. I'm literally sitting there. I haven't said a word to like anyone really. Mm-hmm. And it's like mainly OU, but there's like other fans like sprinkled in. And I'm just sitting there watching the game, and all of a sudden, just this fat piece of like a snowball or like a piece of ice, literally, and it just clocks me.
Oh my god!
In the side of the head, and I look up, and it's this Ole Miss fan, and he's like flips us off. He's like, I hate OU, and he like runs away, and I was like,
Oh, I didn't know he did
And
that.
no, because then I was like, I asked around, and I was like, was that like him?
Yeah.
Because that's when you went to the bathroom later on, like the Ole Miss, those like teenagers that are behind us, they were like, hey, I think my buddy hit you with with the piece of ice earlier. And I was like, no shot. And I was like, yeah, probably. And then, dude, but it was so trash.
Yeah.
And then like this 30-year-old was
that was crazy.
He was cooking like one of our, he's like, where's your woman? Where's your woman?
Yeah.
And we were like,
so there were some frat guys. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
There were some frat guys in front of us, like chirping and yapping. And this like 30-year-old guy, like, this is crazy. But this 30-year-old guy starts like yelling at these frat guys, like, where's your woman? You don't got a woman? And I was like, huh?
Roast flex.
And then this lady turns around in front of him and is like, hey, like, can you like calm down?
Mm-hmm.
The lady had an autistic son who started bawling his eyes out because this guy behind him was screaming.
Like in his
so
ear.
of course the guy sits down and he gets on his phone because he's so uncomfortable. Like, what else you can do? He just gets on his phone. And he was just a loser. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He was like that TikTok where it's
the 30-year-old
like, fiend. I graduated a few years ago. But this guy, I mean, it was just so weird. I was like, why are you chirping at? How do you get? My thing is how do you get so worked up that you're gonna stand? And all the other Ole Miss fans were sitting down, just like looking at him.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
There's even that one like
And-
right in our section who was like, I don't even know what this guy's doing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He was, and I was like, yeah, bro.
But it was just like so. I'm like, how do you get so worked up? And I told Kylan this, and I'm just like, I won't interact with other fans unless somebody touches me or hits me with something. Then I'm crashing out.
Yeah.
But like if you're just chirping, it's like that's fun. But like to stand up in the middle of a section and yell at a guy who's 15 years younger than you,
Yeah.
because he's chirping, it's like make a kid cry in front of you, then you just get on your phone. It's
Because
like
you're embarrassed.
Because you're
just-
embarrassed. It's
oh,
like, dude, what are you doing?
See, I think
Get a
that's
life.
freaking awesome. That's welcome to the freaking SEC. And that is why it pisses me off when you hear OU, like these old heads say, like, stop standing up at the game. Like, sit down at the games. Like,
Yeah.
don't be getting blatantly drunk at the games and belligerent.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you think do you think at Alabama and Auburn, they are telling people to not get wasted drunk and not yell and scream, probably extremely bad cuss words? No.
Extremely bad. Cause
No.
I just think there's a difference. Like, I wasn't trying to interrupt, but like, for that guy, because the frat guys, also, they like threw a full
That's what was
like a
crazy.
high noon or something at
Yeah.
this other group of like, they were probably like 30-year-old, like Ole Miss, whatever,
crazy.
just out of nowhere, and it hit this lady in the shoulder, and then like she threw it back and hit some random OU fan that like didn't even throw it, and that's where I'm like, okay, I get that, but like still in the first place, why? I don't get the point of throwing a full thing.
no.
That doesn't make sense. You can yell and all that, but like, if somebody's not bothering you,
It's like throwing. It's just so
it's like
ridiculous.
that just doesn't make sense.
That's
to
just
me. I get, yeah, you get.
Georgia fans and Ole Miss fans are watching this right now and thinking, God, softies.
That's great.
Come
I'm
on, man.
great.
You gotta
I'm
throw-
okay.
You got to throw things. You got to hit people. If you're,
That's the most ridiculous thing that
just
that's so stupid.
Yeah,
No,
that's
man.
just stupid.
I think it's great. I think that's what the SEC is all about. But
I think
But
it's
they're-
great. I don't know. I think it's great when you're not directly in the conflict. Like it's fun to that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was like, these guys are stupid. But like, if you're getting hit in the head,
Yeah,
with
like if you got hit with a piece of ice, like you'd have been
that's
like,
not great.
"This is great. Yes, I love getting hit."
that's the SEC, man. That's what they do.
Spencer,
That's
if you
what they
got
do.
clocked with a piece of
Yeah.
ice, you would be like, "Thanks."
But if I clock somebody with a piece of ice, I'd be like, that was awesome. Or if I watched it happen, I'd be like, that was awesome.
Yeah, watch it.
Yeah,
is
because
fun,
you're not
but-
getting impacted directly because
Yeah.
you just didn't get hit. Like if
it's
I got hit with
awesome.
a full
That-
beer,
Hey,
I'd be hot.
I'm just saying that's what the SEC is. That's what happens in SEC games.
God, if that's
They're
what the
throwing
SEC
mustard
is,
on the
golly.
field. They're getting in fights. You see it all the time. Drunk guys getting in
Yeah.
fights in the stands. I mean, that's what the SEC is.
That's fun. Watching like middle-aged men get after it.
I guarantee you it
fun.
starts because somebody throws something or somebody's
Yeah.
cussing at a kid, and then the
Yeah.
dad gets involved. That's how it all starts.
Yeah.
It's just classless. There's no class. There's no
Yes.
respect. But that's what it is. I mean, that's what we signed up for. So, if you go to those kind of games, if you go to Ole Miss, Mississippi State, all those southern schools, that's what you got to expect. I talked to a security guard, and I had my camera bag with me. She pulled me aside to check my camera bag. Oh, my God, this lady, the way she talked was so southern. And she asked me, she said, where are y'all from? And I was like, from Oklahoma? She said, I don't know anybody from Oklahoma. Said, do you know the head coach of Mississippi State? He's from Oklahoma. She looks at, her smile goes away.
Oh, no.
I hate State.
They only call it State, bro.
I hate State. Oh, God.
That's a kid behind us. He's like, I hope State loses by 40. And then I was like,
Yeah.
God, like you hear it,
yeah.
like you hear it on
You
TV,
hear it.
but it's like, man, I am like, y'all talk like this
Yeah.
for real. That's a crazy
When
thing.
we
Shout out any people that have a Southern accent, but it's weird.
When we were
to
parking
hear.
in that parking spot, I went to the security guard.
I bet he had the crazy.
He had these sunglasses on, these Walmart sunglasses on there about this big. I go, hey, sir, can we park here? He goes, yeah, these are only supposed to be for employees, but the gate was open. I said, okay, so can we park here? And he goes, yeah, you should be okay. And he got back to eating these donuts, the white powdered donut sack, and he had a Monster in his hand.
That's
With the
That's
glasses.
crazy what people put in their bodies.
right there.
Yeah,
That's
and
fuel. That's
I was
security
like,
right
wow.
there.
But that's when I heard him. I was like, yeah, we're in the South.
I hadn't heard anybody
We're in
until
the
like
South.
those kids behind us, and I was like, he's like, man, State's getting whooped by 40 right now.
Yeah,
and I was
about
like,
40.
Yeah.
I was like, what? And I was
Yeah.
like, dude, no way.
When you first hear it, you're like, whoa, that's like an accent.
And they're probably like, you guys
Yeah.
sound stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
But no, it's
By
definitely
40.
it's a different place down there. There's no there's a lot of public drunk going on
Yeah.
and people being crazy, and there's a lot of accent,
Yeah.
and quite frankly, there's a lot of low ACT scores down there. I can tell you that much. So, not that that's not happening here too,
It also, yeah, it is.
but a lot of low ACT scores up there
But
in Oxford, Mississippi.
yeah, it is what it is, though.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Crazy people.
Crazy people, I guess.
Crazy
OU needs to
people.
step our game up because
I
I feel
think-
like we don't really do all that like too
I feel
much.
like we're decent.
We're like decent, but like I feel like
One
we're not,
Not
visiting
for our own
opponents.
team.
Usually, most of the time, visiting opponents are like, I had a good time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you
yeah.
guys are very hospitable. Blah 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 blah. I feel like, but
When I say decent fan base, like, we do boo our own quarterbacks.
oh yeah, but like
But in terms of like other people,
we are.
and
respectful
maybe
of
we
them.
just
Yeah.
are ignorant. Maybe
Yeah.
we are a really bad fan base. I have no.
I guess
idea.
it's 'cause
This
we've
is
never
one thing
tried.
we do not line up with at all.
Oh no, not even close.
The
Yeah,
Grove,
the Grove.
insane,
Yeah, that was crazy.
insane.
That was
I mean,
crazy.
this is magical.
Yeah,
I will say, Ole Miss's campus was
beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah,
It was really, really nice. Remind me a lot of Clemson's campus.
yeah.
Very like hilly, lots of trees. It definitely was a lot prettier than ours
Yeah.
by a long shot, because it was just hills. Ours is just completely flat. It's 2 ovals. Theirs was nice.
I really hope that Joe C. and Joe Harris, president of the university and athletic director, took a walk through the Grove, because we need to copy everything about this. The Grove is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. That is,
Where would you put it though?
I don't know, but figure it out, because
That's what I just feel like the scenery sets up like so much like between the trees. Like
if
if you have
you-
that perfect.
The best,
I don't know. Yeah.
I feel like the Soville and like north of the stadium on that grass patch.
Yeah.
there's
but
just,
I don't know how.
I
they
don't know
can
what
do
the
that.
answer is, but we got to figure it out. Because, I mean, this is, we don't have, like, the thing is,
We don't
our
even have-
tailgating
yeah.
scene literally sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It's bad.
I mean, I've been here 5 years. This is my 5th OU football season as a student. I have never once thought, let me go to a tailgate.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That is kind of sad.
Yeah.
I've
That's
never
fair.
been invited to a tailgate
Yeah, 'cause-
on campus.
Yeah.
Like, I get invited to campus tailgates like somebody's apartment or their
Yeah.
house or in their backyard. But I have never even gone to a tailgate on campus. And this, the whole student body is in the Grove. Every parent, everybody.
Yeah.
And look, they're getting crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
We're looking at pictures of the Grove, by the way. Just if you
yeah.
see our eyes.
That's a big
Yeah,
difference.
I don't know how you solve it, because my first thought would be we have a dry campus, so like surely there's legal balance, but then why do they sell beer in the stadium? So it's like, okay, well, if your argument is that we're a dry campus, I feel like the Soville would be the best place. It has the most land. It's literally right by the stadium. It'd be awesome. So, and then you could argue for like that little grassy area by the parking lot, the Heisman lot, but it's like, that's so small and little. Like Lindsay Street, they updated the tailgating, like where you can
Yeah.
tailgate. It's a little strip.
Yeah.
It's literally in front of Dunham.
Yeah.
It's from Dunham to the street.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're looking at like 30 yards wide.
And barely anybody showing up.
Who's doing that? And who's, most importantly, who's showing up to that?
Yeah.
Nobody did.
Nobody does. And I'm like, you could have also, too, that grass patch by Sarkey's and Cross, like in between by the
I've heard
parking
that
lot.
the esports. Are you talking? Wait, where are you talking?
No, so there's like a, like if you're,
The esports is right below Cross, is it not?
He's talking about the gazebo park. There's a name for it.
it's like south of Sarkey's and north of Cross, and it's between Jenkins
It's on
and
Elm.
the Cross parking lot. It's like a, people know what I'm talking about. It's right there
It's right here.
to the right. No, right.
Oh, that's already tailgating.
Yeah, that's
That-
already
yeah.
tailgate. Yeah,
That's
they
already
tailgate
tailgate,
there.
okay.
Because that's like the
So-
esports people are like right there and they use
But
that.
it's like what?
Yeah, they already tailgate all up through here, all down
Yeah.
here.
Our
But
tailgating scene is just buns.
It
It's
is.
just buns. I don't know how you fix it either. It just it literally sucks.
I mean, the three of us have never been like, man, we should go tailgate outside. So
Literally.
that means that no one else is
That's the
probably
thing.
thinking it either.
That's what I'm saying. Is like if I haven't and if we haven't, that means nobody that is a big OU fan is.
Like we would have to establish it, like because that's just not like people don't
Yeah.
do that. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
go buy a tent, buy a grill, hook it up to my truck that I don't have, and go out there and say, hey, I got burgers. Everybody come out, buy beer for everybody. I'm not doing that. So I mean, Joe down the street's probably not gonna do that either, and Sally Mae is not gonna do it either. So it's just like,
Sally
who's
Mae.
gonna do it unless you have all the necessary and you love to grill out and
Yeah.
whatever. You're not gonna do it.
I don't
So.
think the dry campus thing is an issue. I'm pretty sure I've been.
That's
seen,
what I'm saying.
I've
it
walked by-
can't
Yeah,
be
people
an
drink all the
excuse.
time.
yeah, I've walked by
I've carried.
tailgates.
I've double fisted.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I've double fisted right by cops,
And they just
right by the stadium.
I've walked by
Several
tailgates
times.
with plenty of beer. But
Yeah.
no, I really don't
But-
know because I mean, if you look at this, we're looking at an OU map and there ain't much green. It's
No.
a lot of taken up. It's pretty packed. So I
It's
don't know
either
what the
parking lot or buildings. So
I don't know what the answer is, but we got to do
Yeah.
something better.
basically, though, Ole Miss. To get away, I guess to get more focus is Ole Miss. The stadium environment was honestly lower tier SEC.
Yeah.
I would rate it probably the lowest stadium environment I've seen on a road game. The Grove was awesome. Me and Kylan didn't get to walk through it, but I saw it and it
Yeah.
looked so cool. But anyways,
I have a little bit of late breaking news.
what do we got?
For those in the pod that don't know, Ted Roof used to be our defensive
Oh, I
coordinator.
did see that this morning. Yeah.
He was our defensive coordinator for the first 2 years under the Brent Venable era, and we let go of him this past year, replaced him with Zach Alley. He went to be the coordinator at UCF.
wait, Zach Alley left?
No,
No,
Ted Roof.
Oh,
Bro's about to cry.
I was finna crash out.
Ted Roof has UCF has now lost 4 games in a row. They're allowing 31 points a game this season, so they have now fired Ted Roof.
Wow.
After 9 months.
Well, that was a good fire by BV then.
I think
Yeah, he's buns.
my
didn't do
buddy that works with me made this take, and I think it's a really good take. I think BV has the 2 worst coordinator hires in OU football history, with Seth Luttrell and Ted Roof, I would say. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I love Ted Roof as a person, and the product he put on the field was a lot better than his coaching.
Yeah.
He had a lot of help. I don't even
BV.
Yeah, he had a lot of help.
Yeah.
I think he was, and you could kind of look and see the progress from last season to this season on defense.
Yeah.
I think he was almost holding back the defense a little bit, but
Yeah.
So a couple bad hires there. But anyway,
Interesting. Yeah. Well, let's get into the score predictions from last week.
from last week.
So last week.
let's
Wait, I do want to say this. This past week was the first time in the podcast history where we actually picked against OU. And ironically, in the first half, we were winning, which I looked at Kylan and I said, how ironic would it be that this is the one game that we all picked us to lose publicly on the podcast, and we actually win it. But we ended up losing, as we predicted.
Yeah.
And we have the scores listed. So the final score of the Ole Miss game was
14-26.
14-26.
So I'll start from the top. I'll start from Ole Miss in Oklahoma. Kylan, you had predicted us to lose 11-24. I predicted 4-31, and you, Colby, predicted 11-38. We lost 14-26.
Jeez, Kylan had a really good.
Um,
Kylan was only off by a
5
total of
points.
5 points.
I was cooking.
Wow. Wowza.
So I'll go LSU A&M. That was probably the biggest game last weekend. Kylan, you picked A&M Me and Colby picked LSU. So you cooked on that.
Jeez.
Off by, quite a bit of points for most of us.
Yep.
Then Alabama, Missouri. We all
Jeez.
picked Alabama, and we were right by a lot. And then Kylan, you missed on Colorado. You thought Colorado was going to lose. Me and Colby thought Colorado was going to win, and Colorado did, in fact, win. So we all predicted 3 games out of 4 compared to 1 out of 4 last week.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. I think that's our best prediction all year.
But
Kylan,
Kylan,
all around the board, Kylan's been killing it.
you only missed by 61 points in 4 games.
Jeez.
On scores.
Jeez.
I'm really like
a total. So you had a score of 89, which is crazy. The highest score yet. And then Colby, you had a score of 66.
It's pretty good.
Or is that you?
And then, that's me. And then I had a score of 66, and then you had a score of 77. So it's the
pretty
same
good.
exact results as last week, actually.
Jeez.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So
we did a lot as a whole,
pretty
though.
good.
We did way
I'd say,
because
yeah.
66 would have won last week. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we were in the negatives.
Yes.
Last week.
And I think
It's
Colby,
pretty substantial.
Or Kylan, you were like 50 or something like that.
Yeah.
57 or
How
something.
about us? Look at us. We know what we're talking about.
We're getting a little
We
better.
know what we're doing. College football. Yeah. Well, that's the score predictions. Let's get into the game. So, what's really interesting about the Ole Miss game is that really, and we talked about this earlier, but you should separate it into 2 halves because the first half and the second half look completely different.
2 different teams.
Literally 2 different teams. So, I mean, do y'all want to get in? Might as well get into the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to start it out, I'll let you guys go, and then I'll kind of put my opinions on it.
As a whole, personally, what I think happened, I think the defense played bad all game. Equally bad the entire game. Obviously, the third quarter was when they really just came out awful. But what happened the only thing that changed at half, in my opinion, was the offense.
Yeah.
The defense definitely got worse in the third quarter, but the offense is what really took a deep dive after halftime. And if you ask me what happened was it Sexton that went out? I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
You could argue maybe Ole Miss made some halftime adjustments. Maybe we got scared. I don't know. But what seems to me what happened is Sexton got out, and it completely ruined the chemistry of the O-line. Because if you watch the first half, we were balling out on offense. O-line was doing good. Second half, the O-line chemistry was completely off. We allowed 9 sacks in the second half, I think. Or 8. 8 in the second half.
8, yeah.
So we allowed 8 sacks in the second half. By the way, sorry. I'll go to the positive in a second. We'll work on. We set an SEC record. In the first 2 months in the SEC, we have already set an SEC record for most sacks in a game with 10 sacks. Ever in SEC history and ever in program history has 10 sacks ever happened. So good for us.
Get back to the let's get back.
So yeah,
Let's get back to the positive.
yeah, 10 sacks, man.
It's just insane.
10 sacks. I'll go ahead and start where I want to start, bro. Jackson Arnold cooked that first half.
He did.
And
He did.
again, like I just said, the only reason the second half went bad for the offense, I think, was the O-line. The O-line literally crumbled in the second half. They played really well in the first half. So in my opinion, you give Jackson a good O-line, maybe a little bit of better receivers, this team would be so good. And Jackson would be so good. He was like 10 for 11, 100 yards, like 80 yards rushing on Saturday.
He had 103, but he got sacked so many times.
Yeah.
So like it was negative like 64 yards.
Yeah, he'd be
He
at
had
like
103.
He would be at like 100 and something yards.
Yeah, because he had like 39 in the
Jeez.
game and he got sacked 10 times. So it literally took away. I literally saw the stat and I was like,
That's
he would have
that's
had
insane.
like 160. Is what you're saying?
103.
Oh, 100.
But he got sacked and he finished with like 39 yards
Yeah.
and he got sacked for like negative like 64.
So
That is
no
Or something
sacks.
crazy.
He would have had like
100
103 yards.
Yeah.
So 103 yards rushing. Great first half from him. I think we hire a new OC next year. We get a good, all this is hopeful. Hire a new OC, get a go line. I think Jackson Arnold looks great. I think he looks like a really good quarterback. But yeah, man, that was fun to watch. That was like really exciting for a little bit.
That's
huh?
facts. Yeah. I mean, I know you're itching to talk about Jackson Arnold, and I'm not gonna sit here. I mean, y'all know I love Mike. I think he's raw, whatever. But I'm not also gonna sit here like I'm not oblivious. Like I obviously know Jackson Arnold has talent. He's good, and that he was getting screwed. Like he got screwed over by Seth Luttrell that like hindered his potential.
Yeah,
100%. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you.
Yeah.
But I was very. And actually, here's where I'm gonna start off. In our first half, positive thoughts only.
Okay, I already know where you're going.
Bauer Sharp.
Oh, okay.
Bauer Sharp
yeah,
didn't look half bad.
Yeah,
I
he
even
did.
saw him throw a block one time.
He had a good block.
I said, man,
I
look
put that in my notes actually.
look at God, man.
Look at God. Look what God
just
Look
took
what
the
God
guy,
did.
and then he goes and scores the first tutty.
did. You pull up my
I
notes.
said, man, that's solid. But honestly, I thought Javonte Barnes
That's what I was gonna say.
looked
what I was
ridiculous,
gonna
and the
say.
stat line I think does not do it justice because he only rushed for
Yes.
was 67 yards on 16 carries,
He looked great.
but he looked crazy.
In reality, I think the difference was running.
Oh yeah,
Like you can say the pass game was better and the pass block was better, but the run game is what like got us down the
Yep.
field.
that
was
cooking.
crazy to watch. It's like we haven't even seen that
No.
in the entire season. Man, that was crazy to watch.
Because I mean, if you think about it, if you put Jackson's, I don't know how many yards he had in the first half. I'll throw out maybe he had 65 rushing yards in the first half combined with 67 or maybe Javonte Barnes had 40 something. I mean, we probably rushed for 100 and something. Taylor Tatum mixed in there, probably 120
in the first half.
in the first half. We don't usually put up that many yards in a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was awesome to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get offense looked great the first half. I wrote down they looked really good on the first drive.
Yeah.
They should have ran it on 4th and 1.
Yeah. Don't pass
I
it.
don't know why they're in gun throwing passes on 4th and 1.
When are we not in gun?
But I don't know. It was weird when we were watching the first drive. Me and Kylan kind of like were like we don't want to watch OU play offense. And they looked great.
And they cooked.
Jackson looked really good, making really good throws. He ran really well. He looked really athletic. That touchdown pass to Jacob Jordan was probably the most athletic play I've seen Jackson make all year, where he evaded the sack. He was collapsing pocket. This guy went over him. He ducked forward, ran outside, and threw a laser to Jacob. That was incredible. That was a Michael Hawkins play that Jackson Arnold made, which was really impressive. Jackson looked really calm, made really good throws. He didn't really make that many bad throws, except for one, and this was actually a penalty. But the difference between Michael and Jackson is when Michael Hawkins is going out of bounds and nothing's open, he throws it out. When Jackson's going out of bounds, he throws it up and does, hopefully, I trust my guy enough down there to catch the ball. And he got really lucky with Brennan Thompson. The guy didn't pick it, and it was a penalty because it was roughing the passer, but it should have been a pick.
Yeah.
And so I think that is, I guess to stay positive, what I'm saying is like he didn't make that many bad throws. Overall, he looked really consistent. Bauer Sharp actually made a block, caught the ball, caught the first tutty, toe tap. Like, they looked really good. They looked efficient. They looked like they had a lot of pace, too. Very hurry-up offense. They knew exactly what they were doing. O-line looked they looked good. Javonte cooked. But, yeah. That's all. I guess for the positives, I'm having to restrict myself because I want
that's facts.
I want to
get into it,
but
too. But
I think overall it was they played really well in the first half.
Jackson's stat line.
I mean, I'm looking at it.
Okay.
His stat line, he's 22 of 31 for 182 yards, 2 tutties.
That's
I mean,
great
his
stat line.
turnover, he couldn't help it. He literally got absolutely
yeah.
smashed, and
Yeah.
he had no time. But I mean, we can talk about that in the next whatever.
Yeah.
But we had 24 first downs compared to their 18. We had 147 rushing yards. They had 69. And we both had 7 penalties, but theirs were for 94 yards, ours were for 71.
Yep.
And time possession, we had the ball for 33 minutes.
They
had it for 26.
Yeah.
Another positive out of that
Good.
is like 7 penalties is really good on our side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because we
averaged like 12.
like our O line averages 10 of penalties.
Yeah, easy.
So O line looks better.
Holding.
penalty-wise.
I do want to say there was a drive we scored a touchdown. It was our first touchdown scoring drive where Bauer Sharp caught it. Ole Miss had 3 penalties.
Yep, I wrote
2 of them on third downs.
Roughing the passer. Yeah.
So it's still positive, but Ole Miss carried us.
I wrote in
Because
my
we should have
notes.
punted.
I literally wrote that.
We should have punted on our own 40.
Here's the thing about that.
But we got 3 penalties, which is great. So
The
we scored a touchdown.
The positive to take out of that, in my opinion, is 2 weeks ago, our team would get help from the refs.
Yeah.
And then not like
Capitalize.
we would get
Yes.
like a roughing the passer, or
Yes.
we would get a offsides or rough hit, whatever, and then we would just not
Throw a
capitalize.
pick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fumble the ball.
And so,
3 and
or
out,
we go 3 and
yeah.
out the next. Yeah, we
Yeah.
move down the field 15 yards,
Yeah.
3 and out. And so it's like, okay, at least now when we get a little bit of cheese on our side,
Yeah.
we're capitalizing on the cheese, and that's what good teams
Capitalize
do.
on the cheese, man.
That's what good teams do. Like, like
That's funny.
honestly, the great teams do not just win off purely
Yes,
driving
yeah.
down the field. They
You gotta take what you get.
yeah, they take what they get. They capitalize off late hits and all that jazz. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was really good. I thought it was really entertaining to watch. And to be clear, to talk about our game experience real quick, I thought we were winning that game at halftime. I didn't think oh, this is 100% certain, but I was like, they come out here and do that again, we're winning the game. Like, we have all the momentum. If we come out hot, I was like, we can win this game. And then the second half happened.
Well, it's funny you say that because I remember, and I didn't tell you this, Kylan, but I remember thinking, this is what OU football should look like.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, my thought process. And honestly, I was like, it should look better. But this is what it should.
Based on what we have.
Based off what we have, this is what it should look like. And I don't want to dog Ole Miss because they did beat us by, 15? Or
12.
whatever they did.
12.
But
Sorry.
any other year, we should go into Ole Miss and stomp them. Ole Miss is a good football team. Yes, we're Oklahoma. We should beat Ole Miss, and it shouldn't really be that close. So I remember, at halftime, I was like, this reminds me of, what we should be doing. We should be winning this game.
Dude, I agree. I was walking through the stadium, and I was looking up at their, All-Americans and all that stuff that they have put on the sides. And
Nothing.
And I saw their SEC championships.
Yeah, we literally talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
It was
And it made me realize, it's so crazy because we live in a time where it's like, oh, we're going to go get the crap beat out of us by Ole Miss. I looked up there. I saw SEC champions, 59, 62, 63. And I thought to myself, this program is not even close to what we are.
Yeah.
They are
Not
not
even
even close.
Yeah.
When I go to work, I see banners wrapping around the entire indoor
Yeah.
of Big 12 championships, and that only starts in 2000. They don't have anything from the 1900s, and it literally wraps around the entire indoor. These two programs, it's just crazy. Any normal year, we should, it shouldn't even, going to Ole Miss should be kind of a gimme game.
Yeah.
We just live in a time where Ole Miss is good and OU is terrible.
And even then, too, it's Ole Miss is good, but it's normal years, we would spank them. If we had Baker or Kyle, Jalen, we are spanking Jackson Dart. Spanking him.
That's what those kids behind us said. They were like, these OU fans. And I'm not trying to, I get what you're saying, but, they were like, these OU fans are stuck in the Baker, Jalen, and Kyler years. They were literally saying that.
Well,
and I was like,
Yeah,
we are because that was the last time we were actually raw. So, you got a point. I almost looked up and I was like, hey, you got a point.
Yeah.
But, to y'all's points, they put up their, rebels in the NFL, and I saw DK Metcalf, AJ Brown.
That was the only two people.
And I said, and then Laramie Tunsil. I literally know Laramie Tunsil because I pulled his Madden mobile card. That is literally why I know that Laramie Tunsil. That is literally what, that is insane.
Yeah.
But you look at ours, and it, everyone,
Dogs.
even we put we don't even put our scrubs on there. It's literally 10.
Yeah.
And you know who it is.
Trent
even
Williams,
they had
Kyler Murray.
even our linemen.
Joe
Creed
Mixon.
Humphrey. Trent Williams.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's
P. Ryan.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the thing I will say about Lincoln Riley is he just put, because even you go to Texas,
Yeah.
when they put their Longhorns in the NFL.
Silky buns.
Buns. Auburn. Oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. They're better, but it's all right.
The only time really you're getting beat is by probably Bama, Georgia.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, okay, yeah. I know that LSU probably.
But everywhere I've gone, Cincy, Iowa State, it's they're putting up guys that are
Brock Purdy.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
That's their one guy.
Brees Hall.
Literally,
yeah.
So
Well, it's crazy too
it's
because
different.
Ole Miss, I would argue this is one of their better years they've had in a long time.
Their best year.
Yeah, and we had a chance to beat them in probably one of our worst years. So Ole Miss fans, it's like, have your fun now, but when you guys get back to how you should be, and when we get back to how we should be, we're going to spank you every single year. Pow, 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 pow. Your booty cheek's going to be bright red. Pow, 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 pow.
Jeez.
Unfortunately.
So it's unfortunate that we got beat, but you guys are at your best and we're at our worst, and you only beat us by 12 points at home.
Yeah.
That's a good, I think that's honestly a positive for us, which is like we're at our worst and we're only losing to a great Ole Miss team by 12 points at home. Mm-hmm. So I hope they enjoy their fun now because with their little pom-poms, we're going to be spanking them. I'm going to be spanking them with the pom-poms. Pow, 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 pow.
Or we can't handle pom-poms. You said they were cool.
The pom-poms were cool. I wish we had the pom-poms still.
We did, I'm
had
telling
them
you,
for
I think
that
you have
first
to
game.
keep them. Like I think that's
They
what
should have
do.
told us that.
I know.
Who's in it?
Yeah, I don't even know. I think I left it.
I think I did too.
Because I was mad.
I'm like, the
They-
pom-poms were cool.
They make them every time?
them.
Because they didn't make
had
them.
them set out on the seats before the game.
No, I know. Yeah, for
Like today.
For Tennessee.
No, I'm saying like for the Ole Miss game, all the pom-poms were spread out in the seats. So I think they
Oh,
just
okay.
keep the
Why don't we keep them? I like the pom-poms.
Well, it's because you have to get people. It was like we got people to make them one time, but then they like it's volunteer. Like I got extra credit. It was like here's extra credit if you come help make pom-pom. I'm like I'm not coming.
It was fun. I'm like, why don't we should do that.
And they low key are like crazy, like especially if they have the song because they would.
Yeah, like that was
like
cool. I don't know.
That's a positive for Ole Miss.
And we're trying to start the let's go. Oh
God,
that
that's
is the
so bad.
stupidest.
Ain't no love in Oklahoma times. Crank that Soldier Boy.
Who thought the "Let's Go OU" was a good idea?
Oh,
why
that
do
is
they
the
keep doing it?
stupidest.
Stupid.
I'm embarrassed.
I
When they
don't
do
even-
that,
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, these visiting teams. I think a good tradition that we have is I'm shooting blanks. I just completely forgot because that's probably
the Boomer Sooner.
the Boomer Sooners. Obviously
okay,
great, but
yeah.
we're gonna beat the hell. If we can get that like going, that's gonna.
It's
be really
getting
cool.
better.
It's getting better, but I'm just like, dude, like.
We got. I'm sorry. Hey, rest in peace, Toby. But that just doesn't do it either in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
I'm
nobody.
sorry.
I appreciate like the gesture.
Yeah.
Toby Keith is like a huge Sooner legend, but in terms of like crowd atmosphere, I don't know if it's like getting
Like if we're
everybody
down
hyped.
by,
If we're down by 20,
if we need like a major comeback in the fourth quarter
Yeah.
and it's home of the red, white, and blue, that's just not gonna get me lit.
yeah.
But if I heard the
Yeah,
fiend,
the
I'd be,
Fiend. Yeah.
oh boy.
It's like, yeah, I like the gesture to Toby
Yeah.
Keith.
I
Obviously,
get
Sooner
it,
legend, but
Still,
it's our traditions are just not
Tradition.
great
Yeah.
in general, and we're trying to make new ones. And the Let's Go OU, I never partake in it. It's the stupidest. Who thought that was a good idea? Let's go OU.
It probably would be decent, but
No,
whoever's
it
on the
sucks.
left of us is the worst because
sucks.
yeah.
It could be
Nobody
the loudest thing in
cares.
history. It wouldn't be cool.
Yeah, it's not cool.
It's just not cool.
But yeah,
It's just
I
not
hate
cool.
our.
So stupid.
It's dumb. Anyways,
All right, let's start talking trash.
Time for the good part.
I'm ready. I want to start because we can do the offense because they went really bad. They went stone cold. I want to start with how bad the defense played, man. They played bad. And not necessarily to the D-line, the linebackers, but mostly
They
the
struggled.
secondary.
They suck.
The
They
secondary sucked. Like, it was bad.
Billy.
So here's what I'm going to say. And this is going to be a quick monologue here. Because this is how Lane Kiffin beat us. He's a genius. This was great game plan by Lane Kiffin. Our defense operates on basically last-second signaling. That is how we operate. So, if you watch the games, you'll notice it. The offense gets into their formation, and we count receivers, we count tight ends, we count running backs, we see where they are in the field, and then the guys on our sideline in the blue and the green are doing signals to tell the defense what to do. So, unlike some other teams, we do not call the play and signal it to our players until we see the offense line up, which is really hard to do. And the players have to be in sync. That's why Danny Stutzman is so great for this team.
Yeah.
It's because he is the guy that he knows it the fastest.
Yeah.
You can see him yelling at the D line, getting in place, yelling at the linebackers. And that's why Billy's so great, because he's telling the secondary what to do, because he's able to read it so quickly and just do it so well. And they're just great leaders. Well, Lane Kiffin said, all right, I'm going to make that as hard as possible for you. So if you watch the Ole Miss game,
They sit there.
they would go into their huddle,
He
and
holds
at
up.
18, I started watching to see what time. Every time at 18 seconds, they would, left on the play clock, the offense would break the huddle, and the center would go out, only the center.
Yeah.
And then at 15 or so, the wide receivers would go out. And then at literally like 10 seconds left on the play clock, the entire O-line, all that would go out. And so that makes it to where not only and by the time the offense is set, they're snapping the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that makes it to where our defensive play callers are calling the play or signaling the play potentially 2 seconds before the ball is snapped. Like potentially literally 2 seconds before the ball is snapped, which means players have to read the signal and get into potentially a new spot and get a new assignment in like 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah.
That happened very often.
Less.
Yeah.
Literally probably 2 seconds.
That literally happened many
Yes.
times.
They ran up to the ball and snapped the ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
As soon as they were set.
that was just genius game plan
Oh,
by
yeah.
Lane Kiffin. You just have to hand it to him. He did a great job there. Multiple times. And there was actually one time where I can remember specifically it was bad. Like our players
We're probably looking.
not even like they were looking at the sideline and like they were snapping the ball. And that was just like, jeez, like we got just beat there. And that's a Zach Alley problem and a BV problem, unfortunately. Like you got to be ready for that because that's going to happen.
Dude, if I'm every other team, I'm doing
Yes.
that.
Exactly.
Because I remember I looked at Colby and I
It's on
said,
tape.
I kind of like how they do that. Like I was like, I kind of
Yeah.
like how he, because he would literally, Jackson Hart would literally sit there and hold them.
Yeah.
He like hold the lineman and then he'd be like, go,
Yep.
go. And then I was like, started to realize, because I was like, why are they? Because I've watched it and I was like, I don't think they do
They've
this
never
all the time.
done
Because
that.
I was like, I've never.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait. And at 15 seconds, Danny, you can't. It cuts off. So like Danny can't get anything
Exactly.
in the head. So like in his helmet. So it's like you literally are relying on
Yeah.
whatever. Like
Yeah.
that was
Wait,
crazy. That was
wait.
crazy. My fault.
That
My
was-
fault.
By the way,
my
Pod-
fault. My fault.
By the
That
way,
was
Pod,
crazy.
if you don't know this,
That was insane.
Danny Stutzman has a helmet mic in his helmet, and
Earpiece, yeah.
it cuts out 15 seconds on the play clock, which means by the time the offense is rolling out, he hasn't heard anything from the defensive coordinator and can't for the
Yeah.
past 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Which means he's relying solely on the signals, which usually in most games he's relying on his helmet.
Which also plays into the genius of Lane Kiffin.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He knew that the
15
clock runs
yeah.
out at 15,
Yes.
so don't run out the guys until 15.
Yes.
It was
It is a
was
great job of watching tape. It's a great
Yeah.
job of game planning. It's a great job of getting all your players. It's just a great job. Lane Kiffin
Yeah.
did a fantastic job. You have to give the hats off to him. But you have to, even though it's a great job, you have to be ready for that.
Yeah.
Like you have
Yeah.
to be ready for that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Allie and BV are probably gonna have to work on that this week, like literally
Yeah.
this week. Because in my opinion, obviously Maine, but like by the time we play Mizzou's going to have that on tape.
Bama.
And yeah, Mizzou and Bama
LSU.
and LSU will have that on tape. And I bet you they're going to do some kind of variation of just that.
Well, my question is why have we always done that? I don't think running a defense where you literally get the signals when they get to the line is a sustainable way of running defense. You're requiring the entire defense to be completely in sync. Like as soon as they get to the line, they're looking over. You're requiring your play callers to call signs within a second or two. Then you're requiring the defense to read that correctly, which it's human mistake. Sometimes you'll misread it. You're requiring them to read it correctly, get in the position, and then look at the ball while it's just that doesn't seem sustainable to me. Unless it's an offense that gets to the line, they look around, the quarterback checks a couple times, then that's sustainable. But if you're playing a team like Ole Miss, you can't run a defense like that. It's just not going to work. It's
The only reason I think I have to agree with how it's made is because it's worked. It's so good. Like
it's worked until this weekend when
Until
Ole
now.
Miss is the first team that ran out and snapped the ball. And now it doesn't work.
I don't think you get rid of it. Like I don't think that's the fix for this. I just think like because it is when you do get it right, it's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a massive advantage.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, it's like the defense before they get the signals should already be in like a, what would you call
base,
it?
like a base defense. Like base line type.
That's basically like, okay, if we don't get the signal in time,
they probably are.
Yeah.
I'm sure they are, but like at the same time, it's like you need to be in something that's not going to blow up. And the big issue that happened this past weekend is they were in their little base, like probably just a cover 2 or something, something super simple, but they're trying to they're looking at the sideline when the play starts.
Yeah.
And it's like, in my opinion, okay, if you think the ball is going to get snapped, just stay in that base. Just don't even look at the sideline.
Yeah.
But it's like, how do you get everybody on the same page to do that? It's tough.
And that's what I'm saying is like, it's a great defense in the sense that it's worked up until now, but now you can't tell me that Mizzou, Bama, and LSU just watched what Ole Miss did and said, we're not going to do exactly what they just did. Because we have a great defense. And they have proven how to beat it, which is you go up to the line and you snap the ball as soon as you get there because we're looking at the sideline. So it's like, okay, well, it's not sustainable in that sense of moving forward. So what do we do to adjust for that, you know?
The thing is,
I don't know.
Is like, they've done, I don't know, like, there have been teams that have gone crazy fast on us, like in hurry up, and we were perfectly fine in that. Like, we've been perfectly fine with like really fast hurry up. And so, which is also has the same effect on our signal calling.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, like, I don't think that the answer is getting rid of it. I think the answer is we got to get everybody on the same page of like, okay, if they come out and roll this out on us, we got to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Or maybe like before the drive starts, kind of give everybody an idea like, hey, they're going to do this on this drive. If they're doing it, here's the play call. Like the play call is going to be something. It's just going to be something basic. Like,
that's something I would agree with because I don't think wipe the system entirely because it's proven to be really good, but it's almost impossible for that to be successful when you face what Ole Miss did to us on Saturday. It's nearly impossible.
Yeah.
And it showed that.
Good.
It showed. That's why we lost.
I'm kind of just sitting like, personally, I don't think they put up 26 points. They're averaging 40 on the year.
Yeah.
I personally don't think. I think that defense. Did they play their best game? No. I don't. I have yet. Maybe Texas. I still think Texas is their worst game that they've played defensively because it just looked like we were getting like little kid sunned.
Yeah.
Like that was just. I
Texas
think Lane Kiffin was just calling
Texas
plays to just beat whatever we were running. That's what I like because I mean they didn't really beat us. A lot of it was like little crossing routes or like little slants that are just above the linebackers and below the safeties, and they're just sitting in the middle part of the field. Bing, and you're wide open.
And they also targeted the perimeter too.
Yeah,
like corners and outs.
So
they killed us out there.
That I think what happened was our secondary just played awful, and I think that kind of comes down because the D line. I mean, speaking, I don't have that much experience, but like, there's very few. Only thing, I mean, you're running like schemes and like different little like stunts on the D line, but the objective for the D line is the same pretty much every time. It's called get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they pretty much know what they're running.
Yeah.
They're probably looking at Bates and Tavis like, hey, are we stunting? What's the stunt? Whatever. But you can call that like whenever, really.
Yeah.
And then linebackers, obviously, yeah. Am I blitzing? Am I going into pass pro? Am I getting in the flats? Whatever. But I think secondary is they were just killing us in the secondary. So I'm like, is Kanai Walker not getting the call or is he just buns?
I think there was just a few times where it was like,
I
he
100%
clearly did not
like
get the
there was
call.
that I think that touchdown that Caden Prescorn scored where like Danny's just sitting there and he didn't even jump. Like if he would have just, I think he was still like processing and then he snapped it and he was like, oh boy, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. If he knows that's his guy, he just jumps.
Yeah.
That's a pick.
Yeah.
Because Michael Boganowski is like trying to catch up with him because he's like, well, Danny's not there. And so I think, yes, that is whatever. But I know we're kind of agreeing that you can't wipe it. I think it is incredible. Like, I think that's probably the best way not to play defense, but I think that's probably the most effective. If you can call your defense based on what they're lining up, like, I don't know how you, besides, I mean, a couple of plays that Lane Kiffin beat us in, I think it's almost like virtually unstoppable. Like
I
you
agree.
cannot do anything
Yeah.
to beat it.
I think a good middle ground here, like a good way to say it is, the advantage is just massive.
Yeah.
If you get it right.
Yeah.
The way to fix this, or like the issue is, you're gonna have blowups.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that is gonna happen when they go and hurry up, or when they do this system. You're gonna have blowups. The key is when you do have blowups, it needs to be okay. They got a first down.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it can't be
Touchdown.
a 40-yard
Yeah.
touchdown bomb. So, yeah, that's my thing is like, if you are going to have, if it is going to be hard, you have to be in a base defense that is not going to allow something that was what it was, with Kenai getting just cooked and all these things.
That's why I feel like we have to,
Yeah.
because honestly, I don't know, like maybe I could be making this up, but I feel like every time we're getting cooked in the secondary, Billy wasn't out there. Because I feel like in the second, it would have been like, it might have been like RSJ, and no shade to RSJ, like he's a dog, but I just don't think Billy knows. That's the one thing. Every time he's out there, he knows like what he can process as fast as any safety we have. Like you put out RSJ, you put out if Woody's playing the cheetah spot, like he can get it, but it's just not as effective. And Billy relaying it to the DBs is probably way better than RSJ taking maybe a second longer. That's one less second he has to relay.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
a second's
because I don't think the DB, like every person on that team is not a wizard. There's probably a lot of people that are like, I know it, but it takes me a while. And then now I have to go press. Okay. And I'm 10 yards off. I have to scoot up. And now you're cooked because you're running forward. And if they snap the ball, now you have to backpedal. Yeah. So now you're toast. So I think we need to start. I feel like the way we have to start like integrating, more people need to start picking up on it faster. That way, if Billy goes out, which is inevitable, he doesn't play the whole game.
Yeah.
We shouldn't lose a beat.
Yeah.
I feel like the linebackers have like Kip. I feel like he's one of those people. He knows because I see him. He's talking all the time. The linebackers, I feel like they all are kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
we got it. It might not be Danny like in quickness, but it's not slow.
Yeah.
I don't
You
know.
can tell who those guys are.
Oh,
who
yeah.
they're talking.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can always tell who
Trace
gets
Ford,
it.
honestly, Trace Ford, I think he knows like back because I see him. He is always.
Yeah.
He was in like 30 yards down the field
Did you see
in pass coverage. I said, "What? Whoa!"
That
was
was
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
I remember that exact play where it was like, ooh, this could be a D-bomb, and then it got swatted down. And I was like,
I saw
oh.
30.
I was like, thank God. And then it was like, is that 30? I was like, bro, what?
Trace
That was
Ford, man.
crazy. Yeah, it was like a
pass.
Yeah.
deep bomb.
Crazy.
My last thing about the defense, I do think we played bad, man. I get we held them to 26, but here's my big thing. Only one sack,
Yeah.
no turnovers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think, like, you can say the job of the defense is to prevent scoring.
Yeah.
And that's true. But you have to create chaos.
No, that's
that
fair.
is a big part of defense, is like, and especially we're calling our defense like top 5, top 2, not 2. Like, I don't think we are that defense that I kind of thought we were when it's like
Yeah.
like top 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Because a top 2 or 3 defense or top 5 defense, they're going out there, they're creating havoc.
Yeah.
The quarterback can't even think.
Yeah.
The DBs are getting lit up, and there's interceptions and there's fumbles. We aren't creating that havoc, and that's a big deal because that creates opportunities for the offense. And in the first half, it's like we've been saying, oh, the defense isn't playing good because they're always out there.
No, yeah.
The offense, we had time as possession.
Yeah.
Right?
They weren't
So
out
it's
there
like,
as much.
I can't give the defense that this game. I was disappointed because I'm all about, like, I think our defense should be just drilling these guys and, like, creating havoc. So I was a bit disappointed with the defense for sure.
Yeah. I didn't think the defense played that great. Really, I agree with everything you just said.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like there was a lot of wide open receivers,
Big holes.
big holes, Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart had all the time in the world. I mean, one sack in a whole game, that's unacceptable. That's not if we're talking, and just like you said, if we're talking about our defense the way that we talk about it, one sack against Ole Miss's O-line is unacceptable.
Yeah.
You got to have more pressure. And, I mean, there was several pass plays, like big, I would say explosive pass plays, 20-plus yard pass plays, where the receivers are wide open. Like there was on the first drive, I think they had like a corner route to this tight end, wide butt booty naked by our sideline, ran for like 15, 20 more yards. It was a huge pass play. Nobody even close. The touchdown, obviously that was a missed call by Danny, wide open. There was a play that Jackson Dart rolled out to the left side of the field and threw a dart way down the field. The string receiver got called back because of a penalty, wide open. And it's just like, I don't know. There wasn't havoc or chaos. Receivers were wide open, and D-line did not get pressure. And when you don't get pressure to a quarterback like Jackson Dart, he's going to make plays on you. Yeah. And he did. And 26, I don't think is very representative of what Ole Miss's offense actually did to us. I think Ole Miss actually really cooked us, and they only got halted by penalties. Ole Miss had several penalties. They killed themselves with penalties over and over again on defense and offense. And I mean, I don't know. I think their gameplay showed that they scored more than they did on the scoreboard. Needless to say, holding them to 26 is really good compared to what they've been scoring.
That's what, because I'm not going to sit here and say like I've never been like this defense is top 5, because at one point I think we all thought like, oh yeah, this is whatever national championship level defense. But I just feel like it's very, and I hate trying to make like excuses for them, because I mean, but it's just like, kind of like I said last week about like the quarterback thing, like how can you be good if you're not getting hit? It's almost like, how are you, our O-line, this is what our I'm not in practice. Does our D-line cook during practice? I don't know if you can say that.
I mean, I don't.
You can say that.
It's hard to even tell, really, because I mean, it's like,
because I feel like
does the O-line play the one D-line, the ones on D-line, or they play the twos?
Well, it's also hard to even tell what the 1 and the 2 is on D-line, because they're swapping so much. The big thing about practice is it's like they're not fully hitting each other. The O-line is not completely straining, and like, you know, I mean, most of the time they're just practicing the X's and O's.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's hard.
That's why I just think it's like but I feel like by now we should have figured it out, because I feel like I don't even know when was like the last time that when's the last time our defense has got like a lot of pressure? I don't think since SEC play started, and that's why I think they have never faced SEC caliber talent, and every time they do, they get cooked. So it's like, hey, let's go in practice and let's go face what's his name? Let's go face Logan Howland at tackle. I'm cooking him, but then it's not Logan Howland at tackle when you go play Ole Miss.
We can't even do that against Auburn.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We have gotten manhandled. Our Mason, I mean, he had that takeover in the last whatever at Auburn, so it was like, okay. But that's the last time really we've seen like Texas cooked us. Yeah. Texas has, I mean, 3-4 draft picks, but it's just like, how do you get better if you don't have better to face?
Yeah. The chaos and the havoc and the pressure all stopped
Tulane
on week 4.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a great point. For me, it's like we do get a decent amount of pressure. It's the finishing that's the problem.
That's what I'm saying.
We never finish, because you'll see the DN coming around.
Come on, dog.
Sorry, my bad.
You're ridiculous.
No, you'll see the DN coming around, and the quarterback is able to
just move up in the pocket,
figure it out. Yeah. He's able to step up, or he's able to throw it away or run away and throw it away. It's like that is what we got to do. That's what Chavis yells. Finish. That's just what they do. That is it. If you're a D end and you could be Aaron Donald. Yeah. I don't think he's a D end. Was he a D end?
Yeah, he played literally every single thing.
Yeah. You can be Aaron Donald, but if you don't finish, like, pressuring the quarterback isn't enough. It's good. It creates good things, but it's not enough. You have to sack the guy or hit him while he's throwing it. Yeah. Have to.
I was watching Nick Bosa yesterday versus the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I was like, they would show like slow-mos. His like get off is insane.
It's so
like he's in like full track stance, like, and he's just like he was just literally, boom, and it was like he's there. Dak Prescott had no time, and it's just like, why? And I get Ethan Downs is not Nick Bosa. I get it. I understand it, but it's just like we have all these people. What scheme something up? I haven't even seen a stunt in so long. Maybe I'm not. I don't watch the D-line every time, but like it just feels like this is what it is. Colby, can we give a visual representation?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to bust your balls.
What am I doing?
You're gonna be the.
We have to be here.
Okay, that's right. Can't see. You're gonna be the O-line.
Okay.
I'm Dominic Williams. This is what happened. This is what happened every time. It's like this, and just Just manhandle. Literally just sit here and push me. This is what it looks like. And it's just for the whole time. And Jackson Darcy's sitting there.
Yeah.
And it's just a dot. Like, there's no, like, moves. Like, we're not even using a swim move. That's the simplest move of all time. We don't even use that. So I just think we're not as creative as we have been in the past. Yeah. Just because we're like, oh, well, we're getting this SEC lineman. I'm like, dude, what were we doing against Tulane when we go crazy in the fourth quarter and we're just sack. What are we doing? Obviously, I know it's different caliber, but still, I just don't think.
It's a bummer because I thought we were crazy.
I thought we were cracked.
I thought we were like top 2 and not 2.
Yeah.
So, but now it's like, now we're kind of just like an average SEC team on defense. Like just, an SEC defense, a good defense.
Yeah. All right, well.
Let's do offense, man.
Oh, yeah.
We still got to get to that offense, man.
Jeez, okay.
I think overall.
Fire Bill Beatonbow.
Well, overall, I think what happened was Sexton went out and it just ruined the line.
That's so sad. Yeah. One guy.
That's
it ruins the whole chemistry.
And
to be fair, the fact that we were playing good in the first place, we should be happy about.
But 10 sacks? How do you get sacked 10 times?
Okay. How back-to-back weeks we broke school records in sacks. We have 19 sacks in 14 days. Mm-hmm. 19. Actually, no. In 7 days. We have 19 sacks in 7 days. Saturday and Saturday. That is unbelievable. That's the most unacceptable.
We got sacked like 4 times.
Sacked.
He got sacked on back-to-back plays. Probably several times.
It was worse.
Probably several times.
1, 2.
At what point?
Sacked.
So here's a question.
4 times in 8 plays.
Bill Beatonbow has some slack from what he's produced in the NFL and the guys he's gotten to the league. But my question is, at what point do we start to realize maybe Bill isn't producing anymore? 19 sacks is unacceptable. You cannot have 19 sacks. It's unacceptable. Some teams don't even have that in a season. At least not in the first half of the season. And it's like, Ole Miss got 10? You can't tell me Ole Miss's D-line is stupid, bonkers, crazy good. You can't tell me that.
They are stupid, bonkers, crazy good, but that does not
stupid,
an excuse
bonkers, crazy good. You think they're better than
Princely Umebe or whatever?
They're like top 5.
I'm just saying they're not 10 sacks and a half.
I'm agreeing.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah. They've allowed 18 sacks.
So
Ole Miss has allowed 18 sacks.
Carolina's D-line is 9 sacks in a game.
They just have crash outs.
The thing is,
you can't tell me Ole Miss, no shot.
We were on pace for 4 sacks. And then, because we had 2 in the first half. Yeah. Then we had 8 in the second. So that's where it's like you can kind of give Bill Beatonbow an excuse here of like, okay, everything went to hell in the second half because you had an injury.
Is Branson Hickman a 6-sack difference? Is he saving?
It was Jacob Sexton. But my thing,
I'm sorry. No. Is Jacob Sexton a 6-sack difference though?
It's not. Is his backup that awful that he?
It's not the person. It's the system. It is all a chemistry thing. I think that's what I think. The communication thing. That's what I think it is. But
as a tackle,
that is the excuse he has. I'm not saying that's but that's what happened. Like he got replaced and everything went to hell. That's what happened. Now, is that an excuse? I don't know, but that is what happened.
That is what happened.
It's causation correlation, though. That's my thing. It's causation correlation.
I agree.
One player goes out.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I can understand that, but if you look at the first half, the offense just seemed to be on the same page. They were getting their assignments. The second half, it wasn't that they were getting beat, but most of the times that there was a sack, it was like 3 guys were blocking one person, and then one person over here is free. And it's like, okay, that's just a communication issue. And to me, that is excusable by this injury.
As a college defensive line or offensive lineman at a Power 4, powerhouse university, as we call ourselves, which is slowly dwindling, you should not. I don't care what string. I think you could put in, honestly, you could probably go put in Dominic Williams to play left tackle or right tackle, and he would know better than if I see 3 guys blocking this, I'm not going to go join them.
I agree.
And I see a free linebacker screaming, I'm going to say, oh, you got it, man. Go ahead. I watched Logan Howland. Oh my goodness.
He played god awful.
But I just don't understand. How is he the 2?
That's fair.
How is he the 2?
That's
We
fair.
have so many. We have
Beyond me.
3, 4, probably maybe 5 freshmen that are 3, 4,
Play
5
'em.
stars. They've got to be better than that. I mean, got to be better because that is the most on pace for 4 and we end up with 10. Jacob Sexton, I don't know if y'all saw, but his dad was spazzing.
Oh, yeah, by
on
the way.
Twitter about Gabe Eichert. It's the craziest thing.
Wait, what? I didn't see that.
He was
It
just
was
like
a huge thing.
Like Gabe basically said like O-line was bad, and then talked about Jacob Sexton, like how he went out in that cause, and like Jacob Sexton's dad was like talking about how we're like paying him to basically like crash out on the university, and like how his wife is like a part of like the only reason he's like.
Oh, he got
relevant to-
personal.
No, he was like cooking him.
Jacob Sexton's father went crazy.
He was in.
Wait, what
like,
did he say about his wife?
He was saying like something about like their marriage had something to do with like why he was still relevant to the OU. I'm like, Gabe Eichert was like low key like a dog.
was a great
here.
player.
Like, I'm saying, like he was a crazy like all American center. Anyway, I don't want Jacob
I love
Sexton's
when
dad.
dads
I don't
get
want Philip
involved.
Sexton to come get me. So
Phillips can come after me.
they were talking about money. Like he's
Yeah.
not from Deer Creek. Come on, dog. Let's
Come on,
lock
man.
in. Anyway, that's besides the point. Still, Logan Howland, that is incredible that you were that bad. That you took us from an average of 4. We're gonna average 4 or
We were gonna
allow
have
4 sacks to 10.
Yeah.
10. In communication, I get it,
That's
Spence.
6 sacks.
Offensive line, you have to have because you have to be in sync in order to create. But like whoever, it shouldn't take you more than maybe you allow 1 sack to figure it out.
What time did y'all
Yeah.
leave?
We
Like, at what
left-
point in the fourth quarter?
We left after
We went for it on 4th down and we got sacked.
and we stacked. And
Like,
I think it was like 8 in the 4th, or maybe
Okay,
6.
6 or 7.
Six?
We didn't see where you were like 5 sacks
Okay,
in
yeah.
7 plays.
Yeah, we didn't
There
see
was
that.
a point because y'all missed something
see
crazy. There was a point because that's when most of the sacks
Yeah.
happened. Was after you guys left. There was a drive where it was like, okay, it was one of those things where like,
Yeah.
oh well, if we do this and then we
And
get an
then
onside
yeah.
kick and then we do this, it was
Yeah.
like one of those things.
Yeah.
And we were trying to go down the field, and it was crazy. Like y'all should go back and watch it. It was unbelievable to watch in real time. Sack. Okay, we got an incomplete pass. Sack. Okay, we got an incomplete sack. I think it was like 5 and 7 plays. It was crazy to just see in real time.
Wait, we left in 6 minutes. We left on. Did we watch that drive? Because I remember I told you, it's like, we're just chewing the clock here. We
Yes,
started the drive
yes,
at
you're
8
right,
minutes.
you're right. So we did leave,
And
yes.
we stayed, I think, till like 6 minutes. I think we watched
Is there the play?
that
yeah,
drive
go to
or the drive
play-by-play.
before that.
Go.
I'm trying to find it.
Because the last sack that we saw was like on Ole Miss's 35, 40.
Go to the one with 14 plays. So I think
Okay, so
it's that one. I think it's that one.
So here we go.
Yes, it's
okay.
literally that one.
So it was the end of this drive.
We left at 5.
Okay.
Yeah, 5-ish.
So
5:30.
sack. So that's 2 and 2 plays. And then we had two incomplete passes. So we had 2 and 4 plays. Then we had 2 more sacks. So that's 4 and 6 plays.
4 sacks and 6 plays.
And then we had another play. So we had 4 and 7. And then we had 5, 6. So 6 and 9 plays. So in 9 plays, we had 6 sacks. That's just insane. To me, it just seemed like we lost a communication and like everything just went to hell on the O-line.
Yeah.
And I think Ole Miss's D-line started just being like, oh, this is hilarious. Like if I was,
They were
if
trolling.
you were on that
They were literally
D-line,
trolling.
I'm dapping up my other
Hey, watch
DN.
this.
Hey, watch this. Hey, you come around this way. I'm gonna come around this way. We're gonna like it's that like that's what I would do.
Dude,
Yeah.
I would be trying to make Sports Center. So
I try and do it. I want to do
I'd be
some
doing
crazy
crazy
stuff.
cartwheel.
Yeah.
I would cartwheel.
Cartwheel it to
As soon as
yeah.
the ball snap, I would cartwheel, jump over.
That would have got past Logan Howland. If you would have cartwheeled, you could have army crawled under between his legs. He'd be like, "Where are you?
No, I
And
would
just sacked him.
cartwheel and look at Logan. I would jump up, grab his helmet, put it under my legs, like do this, and then go and run and ankle swipe Jackson.
one last thing I'll say about the offense, man. Y'all were saying it was all right. He played good in the first half, and he did.
Yeah.
But Bauer Sharp, dude.
No,
The
The
second half.
The second
he's awful.
half, the drop balls are just getting terrible. They're getting really bad. And
There's
then-
one that I give him excuse.
He got lit up.
Yes, that's the one that he got lit up.
Yeah, somebody was saying like, it was the guy behind us was like, you put any
was in
of our
front of
receivers
some frat
there.
guy.
He's catching. I'm like, no, he's not. He got lit.
I will say,
but his sacks.
the tight end position
Terrible.
is the position on the field that should be able to catch the ball when they're getting lit up. But he got lit up.
I was going to say he
Like
literally
that.
got sandwiched.
But there was a lot of drops where it was really bad. And what really pissed me off, and this is on Joe John. It was like a really big play. I forget what the situation was, but it was a big play. And we were in the red zone.
Yep.
And we call up
screen.
a screen to Bauer Sharp, and he loads up a quarterback. And I said, no, there's no way we're drawing up. And it was a big down. It was like third or fourth down. No way we're drawing up Bauer Sharp to throw the ball. So stupid.
And
Go ahead. I already know.
the wide receiver that Bauer Sharp was supposed to throw to, butt, booty, naked, wide open. Wide open. And what does Bauer Sharp do?
It's Bauer Sharp. Of course he doesn't.
Of course, he tucks the ball and gets tackled beyond the line of scrimmage.
Let's also talk about the tight end screen where he tries to spin out, reverse field.
We clowned him for that.
I said, there is no way
Yeah.
you thought you were going to go
Yeah.
sideline to sideline.
Yeah.
And he literally took maybe 2 steps going to
Yeah.
reverse field and he got tackled.
He did a spin move and
And the spin
Bauer
move was
Sharp-
cold. It was kind of cold. Like, it
Yeah.
worked. But then, man, just go down.
Bauer Sharp caught the ball on the Ole Miss sideline, did a spin move, and thought he could go be like way back behind the line of scrimmage and burn everybody and go to OU sideline and go upfield.
Bauer Sharp is
That
convinced
rascal took 2 steps
and got killed.
He's not fast.
He's convinced that he's 6'3", 210, wide out.
Yeah.
That's what I think he
In
thinks.
his mind, he's CD Lamb.
Yeah, that's what he thinks,
It was the
He's 6'2", 195. That's what he thinks.
Kylan, the way you talk about the O-line where you're like, oh, there's got to be some freshman down there that's better, that's how I feel about tight end. There's no
Mitchell.
way Jake Roberts and Devon Mitchell are worse than what we're seeing.
But I think it's honestly I bet if you put Bauer Sharp like on paper, like athleticism wise, he's probably like
He's
up
really
there
good. Yeah.
because he's not. Jake Roberts just kind of probably has like the little dad build, like whatever.
He does.
Like Bauer Sharp because he rolls the thing up, like he's got a 6-pack, like he's like solid build,
Doesn't
and
do
like
nothing.
athletically, but he's not
He
good.
doesn't do
That's
nothing.
it.
There's a lot of people that are just
It
cut
doesn't
up.
matter.
And
It
he
doesn't
just-
matter.
and they suck.
And granted, this is a different sport. If I could tell you the list of how many baseball players I saw cut up, swole.
Aaron Judge in the postseason. Sorry.
Sure. But like just like in high school
Sucks.
and college, just swole, cut up, who just sucked.
Yeah.
And it was the skinny guys who just ping, ping, ping. Anyway, that's off topic. But yeah, Bauer Sharp, it's the first half I was like,
Man.
no way. Like he might have changed. Nope. Chuck Testa, he sucks. And I'm gonna stop there. I talk about Bauer Sharp every week and how much I can't stand him. So I'm not gonna waste my breath.
Waste my
But-
breath.
That rascal is terrible.
Yeah.
And I hope he gets better. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not. I don't think anybody here in this room is like talking trash about Bauer Sharp and just like
I don't
wanting
want you
him
to
to keep sucking.
Like I don't
It's
want you
like-
to go sell
That's
cars
what I'm saying.
after
I
this.
wish
I want you to make it to the NFL.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wish you got better because I wish you could go to the NFL, but you won't. And it's like I wish you could get better because it would not only help you, but it would help everybody else. So I do want to clarify that. Like just in the podcast in general, if I talk trash about something, or really any of us, because we say a lot of things,
Yeah.
it's not because we want these guys to just fail. It's like you need to be better, not just for yourself, but for everybody else. And the fact that you suck so bad is not only hurting yourself, but it's hurting the whole fan base and everybody around you.
We say they suck because they suck.
Yeah.
That's why we say
We're just trying to keep it real. Like it's not a
Yeah.
personal. I have nothing. If I saw
nothing
Bauer Sharp,
personal,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna punch him like
Yeah.
dead in his face. Obviously not. He probably whooped me anyway, so it's fine. But
If
like
he
it's
played good, we
literally,
wouldn't cook him.
huh?
Yeah.
If he played good, we wouldn't.
That's what I'm
cook
saying.
him.
It's real simple.
Real
And,
simple.
it's,
Simple.
and the thing is, too, Bauer Sharp, it's the same things every single week.
How are we
You're
not
doing
getting-
the same thing. And I think that's what's so frustrating is like, I would argue the most guys that we cooked on this podcast so far are Bauer Sharp, Jackson Arnold, and Zach Schmidt. And 2 of those guys have improved.
Yeah.
They've gotten better. Bauer Sharp, you're making the same mistakes right now that you made in week 1. Like, that's just unacceptable. We talk trash about Jackson Dart. We literally had a podcast episode about where he's going to school next year. And now look at him. He played great in the first half. He couldn't help but getting sacked 10 times. Zach Schmidt, Spencer, you cooked him forever.
Yeah.
He hit great field goals against Auburn.
Got better.
And now he's pretty much the starting kicker.
Yep.
He kicked our field goals last week. So I'm like, Bauer Sharp, you're making the same mistakes every single week. And the mistakes that you're making is blocking and catching. The most two basic components of your position. Catch the ball. And it's not like, yes, we have the excuse of you got lit up, which honestly, I give that to you. I would have never caught that ball. I don't think any receiver's catching that ball. You got lit up. That is the one drop that's acceptable. But if you're in slightly covered, sometimes you're wide open. Drop. What's happening? How can, like...
They're the dang jugs.
Go get the...
That's
sit
facts.
on the jugs. At Bauer Sharp, your practice does not end when team practice ends. Your practice ends after you've caught 150 balls
200.
on the jugs machine.
200
balls on the jugs machine after practice. Like, it's... The drops are
And you got to
ridiculous.
block Dominic Williams 50 times.
Yes.
Full speed.
I will say this, and I don't have much place to say because I've never played college football before. I played wide receiver in high school football. Catching a football is, in my opinion, one of the easiest things to do. And this sounds crazy, but it's like the ball is
That big.
the ball is this
It's huge.
The ball is this big. It's as big as two hands. My two hands can't even fit around the ball. That's how big it is. I think catching a football is one of the easiest things to do. And if you can't catch it with your hands, catch it with your body. If it's literally that bad, catch it with your body. I would argue catching a baseball is significantly harder than catching a football. It's literally your hands. It's literally your raw hands. Catch the ball. I don't know. That might be not valid because I haven't played college football, but I will say I never dropped the ball in high school. Never dropped the ball. And it's just not that hard. The ball is huge. So I'm not on a tangent there, but
We're crashed out.
You want to go to talk about Maine, Mizzou?
I just want one more thing.
Yeah.
I forgot about this. I wrote this down, and I get the O-line. I understand, but how many we got sacked 6 times in 9 plays?
6 out of 9 plays.
And that was the
Just at
last
the very end of the game.
5 minutes of the game. So for the other, somebody do that math for me, you guys.
Other 55
The other
minutes.
55 minutes,
We allowed 4 sacks.
4 sacks. So what about the second half is 30 minutes, so 25 minutes of the second half.
Mm-hmm.
We still looked terrible. We did not score.
Fair enough.
So I can't attribute it to sacks. But my thing is, I'll still go back. I'm going to go back to the defense. If our defense is so, if I would compare, like I would say we're an average, I would say we're probably top, what do you think? Top 6 defense in the SEC, maybe 7, 6
In the SEC?
in the SEC.
6 is probably a
6,
good number.
top 6 defense.
6 is a good number.
I think we're solid. So, therefore, I know you said that's not, obviously, it's not full speed. But if BV is a defensive genius and you go against his defense every single week, and I've said it before, how is the offense still buns?
Yeah.
I don't it will never make sense to me how you can go against a product that is so elite. Like, we put it into baseball terms because that's what we know the most because we played it the longest. If I had to face 97 miles an hour every single day, at some point, it would be normal.
Yeah.
At some point,
some
it would be normal.
Yes.
If I have to face this defense every single 6 times a week, at some point, it's just a regular defense. Yeah. And when I go on the road, it's going to be maybe a different look, but defense is defense. The object of the defense is there's not as many variations of defense as there are for offense.
Oh, for sure.
And it's not even close. Most teams,
Same.
you're either going to run a 4-3, 3-4, you're going to play in the same type of coverage, whatever. So if I'm Joe John, and I give him slack, he looked good in the first half, but I swear the ghost of Seth Luttrell crept back in to the play calling booth and was like, Joe John.
Joe John.
Look,
Wait,
like
wait.
the little devils and the
Joe
angel.
John.
It was, hey,
Joe John.
don't call that. No, you're
Give
going
a
to run
screen
that.
throw to
Yeah,
Bauer
Bauer Sharp.
Joe
Throw
John.
it to him right now.
Yeah.
I don't understand how we are still so bad.
Fair enough.
It's just not making, like our O-line. How are we not getting better? We're not back at full strength. Like, I know everyone's not back, but the guys that play have played for 4 weeks straight.
That's what.
And
I'm
they still
so tired of the excuses for the O-line. I'm so sick of it.
Bill, how
Totally
have you
interrupt
not
you, but-
figured out
Yeah.
how it's I understand if it's a strength issue that we cannot block these guys, then that just come out and flat out say, hey, we are just not strong enough. But I don't think it is. I just think it's technique. Fix it.
Yeah.
And I know it's harder than I'm making it seem, but still.
I just think O-line is one of those is if and I'm tired of hearing the excuses
Yeah.
too, because we suck, and it sucks to suck. But O-line is probably the position group on the field that you see the least progress over a season.
Yeah.
It usually is a off season. You get new guys, you get the right guys together, you build chemistry, you get technique right. You rarely ever see a bad O-line turn good.
Yeah.
You see good O-line become great sometimes.
Yeah.
You see an average O-line become maybe a little better, but you don't see things like, bad or terrible become average. You just don't see it that way. I mean,
But it's just like how the thing is. It's like it should not. And this is what happens. I start stuttering when I get hot. Like
it's just that bad.
For me playing, and I know this is gonna sound so stupid. Obviously, yeah, I was like a kid, but still, it's the same concept. You block the guy. Branson Hickman's gonna tell you, hey, you got him, you got him, you got him. Yeah, there might be a stunt, whatever, but the concept should not be like that mind-boggling. And we're just getting. It looks like it's just like free reign.
Mm-hmm.
Like there'll be guys just full speed. Like when Jackson Arnold thrown the ball, that guy didn't get touched.
That's what's crazy.
He didn't get touched.
And the same thing happened at South Carolina last week.
He did not.
The same exact thing happened at South Carolina last week.
And
Against Michael Hawkins.
If you're going to run that play, the guy where a person doesn't get touched, it's a design. You get rid of the ball quick. It's either like a little screen or a pitch or something. But for him being back there, like he was literally going to stand in the pocket and throw the ball, that should never, ever happen.
I agree. And that is something that no matter how bad it is, that should be fixable in the season.
Yes.
That should be fixable.
But
That's weird.
it happens week after week where there's just guys screaming. That turnover, that could be a difference. Now, what is it? If we go score, it's 26 or 21 or whatever, and now we got a little more.
Yeah.
And Joe John also, I know it's a different thing. What are we doing? We're down, and just taking our sweet time.
That was bad.
We chewed like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're literally talking about it.
I remember talking about that. We got that. So the drive that we left at, we got the ball, I think, with 10 minutes or 9 minutes. We drove it down to 5.5 minutes. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
We're running the ball up the middle.
It's
This is the wrong game.
It
was really bad.
That is Ole Miss South Carolina.
It was really bad.
It was just really fresh because it was like, why do we have no urgency?
Yeah.
Like it was almost like, we're gonna. As a fan, I was like, this game's probably over. Yeah. But as a coach, as players, you should be like, hey, because it's 12 points.
At 10 minutes, a game is nowhere near over.
Yeah.
No, not even close.
It was almost a 6-minute drive.
Yeah.
11:25.
Yeah, a 6-minute drive. And we're down.
We're down 12.
12 at that point. You cannot have a 6-minute drive. If you're up 12, you want to have a 6-minute drive. But that was it was bad. Anyways.
One last thing. I got to go over one last thing.
Go ahead.
It was the, and this has happened so many times in BV's career, the timeout.
Oh,
we got to talk about it because everybody is talking about it. The timeout.
And then punt it.
To punt. You're down 12, and I think it was a good decision. You go out there on 4th and 3, and you try to get them to jump. Okay, cool. We called a timeout to save a 5-yard penalty because what would have happened would have been, a 5-yard penalty for delay of game if we had just.
That's bad.
Instead, we call a timeout. You're down 12. A timeout, and I get it. We ended up losing by 12, but let's say we did make something happen.
If we're optimistic,
yes,
that timeout is crucial.
You should always be, as a head coach, you should be putting your team in the best position to win, and that is bad. And that's happened multiple times in BB's career where you get a questionable
timeout.
Yeah, and
or we don't take a timeout.
We don't. Yeah,
it's a complete waste.
It's a punt. It's not like we were on and we weren't backed up. Like we were.
No, we weren't. We were not backed up.
We were like the 30-yard line, and we have Luke Elzinga.
He's gonna flip the field.
Who might be an all SEC, the only all SEC player we have.
Yeah.
Take the 5 yards. Oh no, he has to kick it 5 yards. Oh no.
If
it doesn't matter.
Last thing on this before we move forward. If I hear one more time BB say, "It's on me," it starts with the coaching. It's on me. I got to prepare our players better. I didn't push out there to succeed. Get fired. It's been on you. You've said it's on you the whole season. We've sucked. I'm not calling for BV to get fired, but what I'm saying is like, how many times are you going to say it's on me, and nothing changes? Your teams are making the exact same mistakes they were making week 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that is on you. That's the most annoying thing in the world when a coach says it's on me.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, who else would it be on? We know it's on you. You're the problem.
Yeah.
We know that. You don't have to remind us every single week. Do something about it.
I didn't put my guys in the right position. Well,
if Seth
put them in the right position.
That was his favorite time. I haven't put my guys in the right position. Well, BV, you've had 8 weeks to figure out what position to do that. You've had 20 some odd years of coaching experience to figure out what to put your guys in the position of. How are they not figuring it out yet?
And the crazy thing is
and
that
you have.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say you have your guys. They've been with you for 3 years now. So you can't tell me it's like, oh, they're new guys. They don't know my defense. It's like, they know it.
Yeah.
They know your defense. Why are they still not in the right positions?
And the crazy thing is that we keep getting beat the same way every week after week after week after week.
3 straight weeks of double-digit losses. We haven't done that since 1998. 3 straight weeks of double-digit losses. That's
like, how do we,
unacceptable.
That's insane. Like, honestly, like, it's literally getting to the point of our team is insanity. Like, we keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Like, all right, we're gonna call the same play.
Well, let me clarify
and
too.
it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's not like we played Georgia, Bama, and Texas those 3 weeks. It's Texas,
South Carolina,
acceptable. South Carolina, Ole Miss. You shouldn't be losing to double digits. Definitely to South Carolina at home.
And we got smashed.
And I honestly don't think Ole Miss is all that great. I think they're a good team. And I know that we unanimously picked us to lose that game. And at the beginning of the season, I did think they were that great. But watching them play this year, I don't think they're an amazing football team. So a double-digit loss is unacceptable. But that's my point is like BV, you have to do that for the media. You have to accept responsibility for the team. But at what point is it like you're doing the same things week in and week out? And I'm tired of hearing the same. I'm just tired of hearing the same things every week. I guess that's what I am. It's the same. It's the same things when Seth Luttrell was there. It's the same things with BV. Got to put my guys in better position. Got to do the right things. We got to be better in practice. It comes on the coaches. Change. Do something different because it's not working. So,
to be fair, we did see change.
We did see change.
On the offensive side of the ball, yes.
On the offensive side of the ball.
We did see change.
For half. And you know what? That is a positive.
I'm going to be honest.
That is
my
positive.
overall feeling, even though I was so excited to talk about negatives, overall feeling from that game, pretty positive. That was way better than what I thought I was going to see. So,
I did go on a rant. I would agree with that, though. I think, and based off of what I just said for the last minute and a half, you probably wouldn't think that. I would agree that there was change. Maybe it's just what BB's saying is pissing me off.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what
that hasn't changed.
I just think
maybe that's what's pissing me off.
I just think we were losing, and that's what's pissing us off. But
yeah.
Also that.
Okay. We're officially a month out from the end of the season if we don't make a bowl. So a month from Wednesday could be like our last pod if we don't make a bowl for like in-season pod.
Yeah.
So it's coming fast. Let's hope we do make a bowl so it doesn't come as fast. We're hopefully going to win against Maine this weekend. We need one more win in Mizzou, Alabama, or LSU to make a bowl.
I don't think we're winning until August. After Maine. After this week.
Fair enough.
I'm just going to say that. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I think
slip that in there.
What I saw at Ole Miss in that first half
beats Mizzou.
If we play the way we played in the first half, we beat Mizzou. And we spank Mizzou, actually. Like, we spank them. Mizzou is not good. No. They're rocking a third-string quarterback right now who is it's a dumpster fire.
He's awful.
Yeah.
It's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And, by the way, they lost 0 to, 34 to Alabama. And I'm going to be honest, okay, allowing 34 points to Bama is completely acceptable. Scoring 0 on Alabama is bad.
That's our job.
That's our job.
That's our job.
I just think
that's us.
Our defense.
That's us, bro.
That's funny.
Our defense is better than Alabama's.
Yeah.
By a good margin.
Yeah.
Our defense is a lot better than Alabama's.
I never thought I would say that in my entire life.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Our defense is a good margin better than Alabama's. And their defense held them to 0.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, okay, if Bama can hold them to 0, so can we. Or 3 or 6 or something like that. And then the question is, can we see a spark of life on offense? So my thing is, I think we can hold Mizzou to 14, maybe 20, and then it's like, okay, can the offense do something? But again, like you said, it's not a good outlook, and it sucks.
I'm tired of being optimistic because, and I agree with you. If we play like how we did in the first half against Ole Miss, we're spanking Mizzou, but we won't. If Jacob Sexton gets hurt, how many sacks does Mizzou get? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I just don't. I have no hope for this team. That's the thing is you see sparks, but they're not lasting. Like offense looks really. The whole team looks fairly complete in the first half. Falls apart. You give up 6 sacks in 9 plays. Like, it's just so inconsistent that like, and yeah, in the what ifs, it's like, I love playing the what if game because it gets you really excited and optimistic about the future. It's like, okay, what if our receivers were healthy, our O-line was healthy, and our defense played good? Well, we'd have 1 or 2 losses maybe by now, still in the playoff contention. But we're not. And that hasn't happened. And our receivers have shown, our backups, the O-line falling apart. After one guy gets hurt, they're in sync. I mean, they fall apart because Jacob Sexton, you give up 6 sacks. It's just like, I hope, I want to win against Mizzou, but I'm done this season playing, I guess, the what if game because I've done that my whole life as an OU fan, and it sucks. Yeah. So sorry to put a damper on the pod.
Yeah, I just think
I don't mean.
I just want to break
You're so
down the rest of the
negative.
season.
You're just bringing a black cloud amongst the pod, bro.
I'm just trying to predict the rest of the season, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to play the what if game because I just want to.
I want to clarify. I didn't think you.
I just want to see like. I just want to talk about like what do y'all think is going to happen the rest of the year. Yeah.
I'm sorry if that felt like it was directed.
The thing is, I don't care even if we play like the second half of Ole Miss. I think the game's gonna be close. I think Mizzou's that bad. Me personally, I think Mizzou is that bad.
Trash, yeah.
I think, and also like they're on their third string quarterback. I just genuinely think like the game's probably gonna be close, and so it's like you don't have to get optimistic about it, but you do have to admit we're gonna be there and we're gonna be in that game, and it is a huge defining moment for OU if we win that game or not, because going bowlless, like breaking our bowl streak of probably 25 years or so is
insane.
That's something that gets you on the map. So
firing map.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have too much, but honestly, like how we play, it's crazy. It's gonna sound like how we honestly play against Maine. Like if we don't, like if it's one of those one games where it's like a Houston, like if we do something like that where it's like we beat them like 20-7, then I don't think we beat Mizzou because it's like, dude, it's Maine. Are they FCS? I think they're FCS. Are they? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I don't even think. They're FCS. Like they literally play in a shoebox. They literally play in a shoebox. So, Mizzou. My only worry is that I think overall defensively are better, but I think Alabama might have us beat in the second. Like their DBs might be a little better.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think Luther Burden.
But he doesn't have a quarterback that can get it to him.
But, I mean, if he's running butt naked because he just toasted Kenai Walker, I think the guy can maybe throw it to him.
I don't think he can.
I just think man, I could throw it to him. If he's wide open, I think he can make it to him. Probably not in tight coverage, but if he has 33 yards of separation, he's got to hit him.
I don't think he'll have 33 yards open.
That's what it looks like sometimes when Kenai Walker's playing.
I agree.
Where is he? But I'm with you. I do think I have like very high hopes for us winning the Mizzou game because I think they're really that bad. Yeah. But if we lost, but this week will determine that. Like I'll come back on Saturday after and I'll say if we're going to beat Mizzou or not.
Yeah.
That will really tell me because if we put up 55, I'm like, all right, we might be back.
Inside the program, this main game is huge.
Oh, easy.
Because you just found out what worked.
Yeah.
Now you have 2 weeks to prepare for Mizzou, and in the middle of that 2 weeks, you get a scrimmage, like a real life, like you get to test it out.
Bro, this is gonna be posted in the main locker room, bro. Bulletin board.
I'm sorry,
inner squad.
I was talking to some coaches, some like analysts, on the at Ole Miss about Maine, and they were like, it's not even like they're like actually high school, like it's like that level. It is that bad.
Jeez.
So yeah, We're paying them like 1.4. It's really bad.
Golly,
But my
dude.
point-
we
my
could go
point
to
being-
Maine, bro. We could play at Maine.
My point being is like, it is just a perfect scenario to practice for Mizzou. I guarantee you, like, in the BV saying, we're taking one step at a time, we're focusing on Maine. This offensive staff, I guarantee you, is testing their game plan for Mizzou against Maine. Like, that's literally probably what's going to happen this week.
Yeah.
And if we can build on what we had in that first half, put it up against Maine and test it out and fix some bugs, and then test it all week again in the next practice of next week, maybe we can go into Mizzou with something and then get us to a bowl. The real question is, man, does a bowl really matter? Do we want to make a bowl? For me, obviously, I have personal reasons I really want to go to a bowl. But, like, you could argue that it's like, man, do you just call it a season if you lose to Mizzou? Like, do you just say what it is? I don't know.
There's really no option. If you I guess if we beat Mizzou, are you saying call it a season?
No.
Because, if we lose Mizzou, it's already a season.
Yeah.
Because we're not
losing
beating Bama. I'm
yeah.
sorry. But, honestly, I hope Maine plays the most incredible game of their entire life. Like, I hope they play the best. Yeah. Every player is coming out just swinging raw. Everybody's just crazy. Because even at that, we should still just but at least it won't be like we're playing, because I would like like a little bit of competition, just because if we go 13 days or whatever, and it's just like, we just play these high schoolers, and then Mizzou, because this has been brewing. So that game, it's going to get that little chippy feel where it's kind of like, so then I feel like Mizzou's going to come up and they're going to play to theirs. And it's like full throttle Mizzou. And if we are still the OU of old, or of right now, it might be scary, and we will probably get beat.
I agree.
I don't know.
It's definitely it's going to be a game. It's going to be a game, man.
Yeah, I'll just say, I think we can beat Mizzou. I'm not getting my hopes up for it.
I agree.
That's my thing, is Mizzou's third string. They're at home. It's an emotional game. I'm just not going to get my hopes up for it. Yeah. I think the season's shot. It is shot. I mean, there's no playoff chance. It's shot no matter what. It's shot no matter what. So, I mean, the best we're playing for is a bowl game in Vegas against Colorado. Yeah. Like, that's... I'm just not excited about that.
Colorado might...
I would love to go to...
And me personally... I think it'd be fun to go to. Like, I would probably...
Me personally, I am very excited about that, because that'd be so fun.
Well, yeah. I mean, that'd be
so fun.
It would be a lot of fun to go to. I'm not excited about the game itself, though, if that makes sense. But it'd be cool to watch... She do.
He wouldn't play.
He wouldn't play. Him and Travis Hunter not playing.
Oh yeah, Travis. But yeah, I don't know. I just. Yeah. I don't have. I'm not gonna be optimistic about it.
Yeah.
I think we can though beat them.
Yeah, I would definitely say, like, I would, if I had to bet money, I'm betting we are not going to a bowl. But I obviously, just looking at it as it is, it's like, okay, there really is a chance. Yeah. I mean, I would put the chance at like 40%. I would put it around 40%. I'd say we're most likely not going to, but like, I would say there's a 40% chance we beat Mizzou because they are that bad. They are really bad. So I think there's a chance. All
right. Around the world.
Quick around the world, because we've been talking.
We've been yapping.
I want to talk about, first off, Texas Vanderbilt. Y'all have any thoughts on that?
Quentin Ewers just low-key buns, bro.
What did he do? 2 interceptions against Vandy? Yeah.
Vandy, they look good. I think Vandy could have won that game.
That's the thing. Yeah, easily could have won that game.
They had a few costly errors, but I think they could have won the game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
it's sad that Texas won, but Vanderbilt. How about the Commodores, man?
Man, Diego Pavia, dog.
What's his name?
Diego Pavia.
Diego Pavia. Yeah, he's great. He's a great quarterback.
So this is Texas's walk to the playoff and to the SEC championship. If they went out there going to the SEC chip, Florida at home, at Arkansas, Kentucky at home, and at A&M.
Boy, I can't wait to talk about Texas A&M.
Let's go ahead and talk about Texas A&M.
Put that score up.
I know who you want to talk about.
Yeah, you know, man. These people gonna know. They're gonna know right that who I'm about to talk about.
Yeah. All right. Talk about them.
Marcel Reed.
went crazy.
Marcel Reed
What a
is
game.
Lamar Jackson Jr. His stat line looks so silly. He threw 2 balls. He threw 2 passes, but they were 35 yards on average
2 for 2.
apiece. 2 for 2. If I'm Tim Elko, is it Tim Elko? Or no, is it Mike Elko?
Mike Elko.
Elko.
Yeah.
Who's Tim? I don't know who Tim Elko is, but if I'm him, Connor Wegman does not play another snap for me.
Yeah.
Because I just watched
Actually-
Marcel Reed cook
Yes.
he would just get the ball into the red zone, and it was just like, here, I'll get it. I got the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, shifting everybody up. What?
He ran.
He ran for 3 touchdowns.
He ran crazy.
Crazy.
9 rushes, 62 yards, and 3 tutties.
3 tutties, making people look silly.
And Connor Wegman, 6 for 18, 64 yards, 0 touchdowns.
So Marcel Reed threw 2 passes and had more passing yards than Connor Wegman did with 18 passes attempts.
And ran the ball 3 more times than Connor Wegman did, and had
3 more touchdowns.
Yeah.
3 more touchdowns.
Yeah, if you're Mike Elko, it's not even a decision. This is the guy. And LSU is a good
And
team,
the
and they beat
thing-
him by 15.
The thing is, another thing about Marcel Reed, he came in down like 10 and just no pressure. Just went out there and
started
balled out.
Bro's my new Michael Hawkins.
I
Yeah.
like. Okay, here's the thing. Do I like A&M? No, I don't like
I hate
A&M. I think I hate A&M people.
yeah.
I think they're
Here's-
Colts.
Yeah, they're weird.
Here's my thing though.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. God, I'm rooting for A&M this year.
Man.
Yeah.
I want A&M. Here's the thing. They are 1 loss.
Yeah.
So if they win out, let's look at their schedule. Which
Oh
they
my
can do.
gosh.
Right? They can do that.
Yeah, they can.
If they win out, they're in the SEC championship, which means they are, first off, for sure in the playoff. They could be the 1 seed if they win. Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're just speculating here, but I'm rooting for that. But here's what
Yeah.
I'm rooting for, man. The return of Texas versus A&M
Yeah.
is the thing is, like, preseason, I was excited for this game. I was like, this is a cool rivalry to bring back. Now, they're ranked 6 and 10 right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that will probably go up because both teams are going to win their games beforehand, probably.
Yeah.
Man, that's going to be so exciting. And at Kyle Field,
It's going to be nuts.
Under the
Texas-
lights.
by the way, Texas' season will pretty much be on the line.
Yeah.
Maybe. They probably would still make the playoffs. But they wouldn't go to the SEC chip, right? The SEC chip is on the line in that game.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's going to be such a great game. I'm so excited for
Who would
that.
have thought, man? A&M, beginning of the year.
The A&M is playing how they should have with the talent
Yeah.
that they've
Yeah.
gotten for
Yeah.
the past 4 years.
It was Jimbo.
It was 100% Jimbo.
Jimbo.
It was dang Jimbo.
Because Mike Elko
Mike
came here.
Elko's a great coach.
Yeah.
Congrats to Mike Elko, by the way.
Yeah.
Congrats to
him.
Marcel Reed. Shout out Marcel Reed.
Jimbo.
Marcel Reed is their version. This is the
I'm
same
telling you,
thing
I said
as
that's my
Arnold and
that's my Michael Hawkins, bro.
Yeah.
That's my
Same dang thing.
man. If you can run the ball, I don't care who you are.
You just love them.
Johnny
running quarterbacks.
Manziel, anybody, Baker. I get not even Baker was, but I just shifty. If you just be, golly, I
love the
I
mobile.
love
It's
people
awesome.
that can just
You love
run.
that mobile
Yeah.
quarterback, man.
Okay.
I think that's all we need to talk about around the world. I mean,
Ohio State, Nebraska. It's a good game. We don't
Good
need to talk about
game.
that in detail, but
I mean,
it was a good game.
it came out as expected.
Colorado.
Colorado played really good. They can go to the Big 12 championship, and of course,
They
if they
can.
win it, they go to the playoffs.
That would be so. That'd be hype.
Dion year 2.
I would
I-
actually love to see Colorado.
I'd love to see that.
I think that'd be fun.
Let me bring something up.
Home game at Folsom Field. Snow.
Snowball.
Playoff game. Under the
Colby has
lights.
said this a million times, but a lot of other quarterback or coaches have the same situation as BV
Dion
and
was
did
the
better.
worst.
And Dion is one of them.
Yeah.
Dion is one of the coaches. He's only been there 2 years. This is his second year. And he's already doing much better than BV, which is dang.
Conference switch. Yeah. Everything.
Last thing I wanted to harp on, just real quick, Tawi. That's all I gotta say.
Went
Tawi.
crazy
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Still
All right, guys.
relevant. I mean, running backs didn't play as bad this game though, but still, I miss Tawi so much. Tawi, please come
He's
back.
unbelievable.
He might be like NFL,
Yeah,
like
100%.
that guy.
Yeah.
So
Do we? I guess we'll pod on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
This is probably this will drop today or tomorrow.
Probably later tonight.
Yeah. So.
The computer it crashes out. So until
'Cause-
we get a better system,
Either
Especially-
tonight or
Especially
tomorrow,
When
probably.
we start
Hopefully tonight.
streaming, we're gonna need a new computer.
Yeah.
we'll have to get like a separate computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to literally get a podcast computer.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, we'll see you Wednesday.
Cool. Peace.